Hey guys, this is a video that's a little different than my typical format. What I'm doing today is setting up point-to-point configurations or point-to-point connections across these three serial links. Um, the program that I'm using is GNS3. It's a little better than Packet Tracer for certain things, um, and I'm actually moving towards using it almost exclusively for my training stuff. So. Um, As I said, we're going to set up point-to-point connections across these, the first of which is going to be just basic PPP. There's not going to be any authentication or anything like that. The next is going to use password authentication protocol, and the next is going to use challenge handshake authentication protocol. CHAP is by far my favorite, just because it's the most secure, and I like configuring it more than PAP because it's not as confusing. So let's get started here. These routers just have basic configurations on them to make the host name, correspond to the number on the label, and they also have synchronous logging. They have, by default, I'm in privilege mode, and there's no IP domain lookup. So let's get started. So configure from the terminal. We're going to say interface serial 0/0. Set up layer 3 IP address 192.168.1.1. Okay, and encapsulation PPP. If I didn't enter that command, this interface would be using HDLC, which there's nothing wrong with HDLC, but we're using PPP, so let's do that. So no shutdown. This will come up, down. And I'm going to exit out here. There's one last command I would normally need to put in here, and that is clock rate. Clock rate, I just use 64,000 for most things, but this version of iOS I'm using actually already has a clock rate put in. So we're going to go do show run interface serial 0/0. You can see it's got one in there by default, and even if I hop up to serial 0/1, it's still got that clock rate in there. So I don't need to worry about it, but you guys may. So if you need to find a number to use, just 64,000 is what I use typically. So we are done on this guy for now. I'm going to close him out, and we will open up router 2. I don't know why I closed that actually. Ugh. What's going on here? There we go. And we're going to say router 2 configure from the terminal. Interface serial 0/0. IP address 192.168.1.2. Pizza /30. Next we need to do encapsulation PPP, and after that we need to do no shutdown. And in just a second this should come up. So show IP interface brief. And naturally it's clipped, but you can see line protocol and interface. Here we go. Okay, so you see line protocol on interface serial 0/0 change state to up, and so physical is up. Where is it? Yeah, physical is up, and layer 2 is up as well. So 1 and 2 are working. And let's just ping really quick here to show layer 3 is working. Okay, there you go. And we're going to shrink this window down as well. Go ahead and close that actually. Make more room. Next, we'll set up the PAP link here. So first thing I want to do is from global configuration, I want to issue the username. It's going to be R3. The password is going to be Cisco. And this is what the authentication methods are going to use. So PAP and CHAP are going to use this. So that's done. Make sure when you're entering this, you don't want to say password Cisco space enter. because if you have the space in there and that space is actually in the password and you need to type it on the other device, you'll spend 20 minutes trying to troubleshoot it, and you'll say, wait a minute, these are the same when you're looking at the configurations, but they aren't. So save yourself some headache and make sure you don't put space in there. Let's say interface serial 0/1, encapsulation PPP, PPP authentication is going to be PAP, and PPP PAP, yeah, that's a lot of three-letter words there. Sent username is going to be R2, and the password is going to be, the password is going to be Cisco. And now we will set up layer 3 on this, so IP address 168.1.1.1. Okay. And no shutdown. Okay, now let me pull up router 3 here. And same thing on this, we're going to make a username for the other device here. So we're going to say username R2, password Cisco, and this is what the other device is using to log into this device, or not log in, but connect, authenticate. Now we will go into that interface. And encapsulation PPP, PPP authentication PAP, and then we're going to say PPP PAP sent username is going to be the host name of the router, Cisco, password Cisco. Okay, and as soon as I issue a no shutdown, that should come up. Okay, we are up, and I want to make sure it's not going to start flapping, and it's not. So we're going to say do ping 72.16.1.1. Okay, we're successful. So looks like layers 1, 2, and 3 are working, and that's all I'm worried about for this lab. So say interface serial 0/1. What we need to do here is set up a challenge handshake authentication protocol. So actually, before I get into this interface, let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to say, we're going to set up another username, username R4. We're going to say password Cisco1. Okay. Now we're going to go back into that interface, so interface serial 0/1, and say encapsulation PPP, PPP authentication chat, and that's it for this. I believe that's all we needed to put in there. Yeah, that was all we needed to use. So we will say IP addresses. Oops, this is 10.1.1.1. And no shutdown. And we're going to come over here and configure the other side of the link. So configure T, username R4, this is R3. Yeah. Okay. And next we're going to say interface serial 0/0, encapsulation PPP. We're going to say PPP authentication chap, and we're going to say that's it. So no shutdown. You need to also do IP address. Okay, and you can see that one is now up as well, so do show IP interface brief. Up. Good to know. So end ping 10.1.1.1. Ping goes through. Now let me show you what's going to happen if I try to ping router 1's interface. So ping 192.168.1.1. It's going to fail because there's no routing protocol running over these links. So, you know, this router knows how to get to that network, but this router doesn't know that he knows how to get to him. So we're not going to get into that right now, but this is just a basic setup for point-to-point connections. Now I'm going to break this, and I'm going to show you a few instances that you may run into where things are not right, and I'll show you what that looks like. So we're going to say configure from the terminal, interface serial 0/0, and let me do this. I'm just going to cheat, show run interface serial 0/0. I'm going to say, I don't want that. When you're in PuTTY, at least, if you right click on the word or on what you have highlighted, it will copy it and paste it. And if I do this, where I select that whole line, it's actually going to hit enter after I paste it on there. So I don't want that right now, so I'm just going to hit enter. And now that link will drop in a second. It should. It may not. I may have to bounce it because it's, yeah, it only authenticates once. There we go. Turn it back on. You can see line protocol is up, but layer 2 is not going to come up. And if I come over here and I say, there we go. Say debug exit. Actually, no, end debug PPP authentication. It's going to show me a whole mess of stuff. It should anyway. Okay, let's do this. There we go. It's saying PPP authorization required. I was hoping it would do that, but it's not. Anyway, you're going to use that command to look at that and see what the problem is. Because if I did a, well, let me do that right now. Show IP interface brief. See that it is showing up and down on that interface. And let me pull this up here. Basically, if it's administratively down, you know that you need to issue the no shutdown under that interface. If you have down, the problem is layer 1. It could be cabling, it could be clock rate, it could be any number of things. And if it is up, down, then that tells you layer 2. So that's going to be, you know, usually that's the authentication. And if it is up, and you do a ping test and the ping fails, that tells you layer 3 is wrong. So you probably have misconfigured subnets or something like that. But there was a specific message I wanted to show you in there. So it should just come up now. Yeah, we're up. But anyway, this is the basic configuration of these links. The next thing I'm going to do is setting up a routing protocol to run across these. I haven't decided which one to use. I'll probably do OSPF because that's one of my favorites. But I'll go ahead and get this video uploading while I do that. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is, like I said, this is my first unstructured lesson, so it's probably not that good. Maybe a little confusing in places. So if you have any suggestions, definitely let me know. Thanks, guys.